all the diversities that you see are the world. And these diversities are what makes the mind suffer. And here the rishis have picked up all the diversities and have said all these diversities are actually one. The distinctions are merely apparent. Actually, there is an underlying unity. Things appear different because that's how your own biological system is constructed to perceive them. We are not designed to perceive oneness. We are designed to perceive only distinctions. I can look at you because you appear different from the chair you are sitting on. If you look just like the chair you are sitting on, you will no more be perceptible. Right? You can look at me because I appear different from the background there. If my color from head to toe matches exactly the color of the background, then I'll no more be perceptible. You'll no more be able to see me or experience me. In fact, I will have no more existence for you. So I exist only as long as I am separate, distinct, different. So what is this world all about? There is a world of differences, distinctions. And the mind is forever caught in these distinctions and suffers. Is this right? Is that right? Is this nice? Is that nice? Do I go this way? Do I go this way? Why? Because that way appears distinct than this way. Because this thing is just not the same thing as this thing. Going by our senses. There is no way we want to admit that this thing is just the same thing as this thing. Now that's what the seers are attacking here. They are saying that for your practical day-to-day living, it is all right if you see differences. It is not merely all right, in fact it is necessary. If you see no difference between food and trash, then you probably won't survive for long. So for your day-to-day living, it is all right. But then, in your heart, at your core, you must know that all the distinctions are superfluous. The water and fire are one. And once you know that, that brings the mind to a final rest. Final rest where? Final rest nowhere. Please understand. If I distinguish between this and this, then I am partial to one of them, and my mind will want to take rest in one of them, right? Because I perceive one of them as more likable or superior or preferable, right? So my mind will gravitate towards one of them. But when I come to see that all these are one, then no object holds any particular significance as such, because no object is really final. All objects are one and all objects are from Him. All objects are from Him. But no particular object contains the finality in itself. Therefore, my proclivity to attach myself to any one particular object is bound to decrease. I can no more hold any particular thing or person or place or idea as being very close to my heart. You see, things attract you only in relation to their opposites. Do you see this? When you figure out that a thing is fundamentally not different from its opposite, but is rather the same, then the thing loses its charm. Are you getting it? Let's say you have 1 rupee. 1 rupee kept here, a coin. And then somebody keeps a 100 rupee note here, 100 rupees note here. You might probably immediately extend your hand towards a 100 rupees note, right? And you'll want to say, but a 100 rupees note is important. Let's see. What if somebody comes and keeps a 2000 rupees note here? Now the 100 rupees note becomes equivalent to the 1 rupee coin. But what happened? Just now you were saying that the 100 rupees note is quite important. It was important only in relation to 1 rupee. Now that you have 2000, the 100 rupees has become unimportant. So things attract you only when compared to some other thing. When you realize that the thing and what you are comparing it to are not really qualitatively different, that realization sets you free. And then you go neither for 2000, nor for 20,000, not even for 1 rupee. You don't reject them either. There is nothing in them to be rejected. At the same time, there is nothing in them to be admired. Nothing in them to be desired. They lose all mental significance. Now they have at most a practical significance. The number 2000 is bigger than the number 100. Fine. As a fact, you know that. But that has no bearing on your mind. What does it mean to say that has no bearing on your mind? It means that now your ego sense, I, does not look at rupees 2000 as being 20 times more valuable than rupees 100. The ego knows the relation between the figures 2000 and 100 as a fact. But the ego does not associate itself with the fact. What does that mean? The ego will not say that if I have rupees 2000, then I'll be 20 times more valuable or bigger or richer compared to the situation when I had only rupees 100. The ego is no more looking at either of these things as objects to be attached to or as objects to determine its self-worth. Do you get this? So all the movement, the action, the game, the drama continues on the outside. You take rupees 2000, you purchase something for rupees 1500, then you do want your rupees 500 back. You don't leave the change with the shopkeeper. You know very well 2000 minus 1500 is 500. But these figures have lost their meaning. The figures are just figures now. They do not hold any internal meaning for you anymore. You have seen that they are all one in the sense that they are all belonging to one common plane. Getting it? This is a virtue greatly extolled in all spirituality, in all religious streams, especially the Indic ones. At some places it is called samta, at other places it is called samdrishti. And the same thing extends to become sakshitva. I can witness everything because anything that I see is just not powerful or lucrative enough to tempt me in. Because there is nothing there so tempting. As well, there is nothing there so disgusting. Hence, I neither gravitate towards them, nor am I repulsed by them. I can just sit at my place and watch everything without jumping into the fray or running away from the show. That's witnessing. In some sense, it's all the same. It's all the same, and all of it comes from a single source. This realization is a source of great peace, great detachment. And this realization is not something that weakens you or hinders your capacity to participate in the life game. Rather, it sets you free. You are now participating in the game without bondages of attachment or fear. You play much more vigorously. You play with a great vigor which has peace at its center. Vigor that has peace at its center has an unmatched quality. It has ferocity, of desire, as well as the relaxation of contentment. When these two come together, then you are living fully. The person displays furious activity on the outside, and yet within, at the center, he knows very well that it's all the same. Win, lose, drop, gain, arrival, departure, birth, death. They all belong to one particular level, one dimension, one common plane. When you see the commonality between all physical objects, and when you also see that the duality involved in all mental objects, two is just false, then you are liberated. It is both ways. One, all the physical objects that you see, they are essentially one, belonging to the world, belonging to the zone of perceptible objects. and all the mental objects that you have that operate in the dualistic way, happiness, sadness, when you start seeing even these as one, then what can set you back? Get this. It is to reinforce this point that the seers have uttered verse after verse. Because even though the message is simple, the mind will find ways to forget it. The usual habit and experience of the mind is diversity and duality. Oneness is something that you never experience. You're incapable of experiencing oneness, right? Experience itself implies distinction. Therefore, the mind has to be trained and reminded again and again, and that's practice. That's really the ascesis being talked of in these verses.
Ji, all is one, then what is discretion, what is vivek, and we, as you say in other videos, you make a right choice. So if the like all is same, like if we don't like, then what is the importance of right choice? And
you see, when you see two objects, then among them it is probable that there will be an object that has a relationship with you that only reinforces the idea that that particular object is special. Are you getting it? Let's say there are two persons and you have to make a choice. And I have advised you to practice discretion or vivek in the choice. Now let's look at these two persons. One of those persons is very sure that he can exist in your life only as someone special. One of those persons is trying to enter your life as the one special one. Are you getting it? Now, if you choose that person, then what have you really chosen? You have chosen to reinforce the flawed idea that objects are really separate from each other. Because that person is entering your life only to assert the idea that I am different or superior or special compared to everybody else. Yeah? And then there could be another person who is entering your life to teach you that the distinctions that you usually see between objects are all bogus. Now you see the role of discretion? The mind is already conditioned to see differences where they are not. The mind is already conditioned to live in and create illusions. Now, why go for an object that would push you deeper into illusions? And it's not really the fault of that object as such. Therefore, I said the relationship. Do not go for an object with which your relationship itself is of a certain illusory character. Getting it? We are not really blaming the object per se. You have to choose between one type of relationship and another type of relationship. So choose the right relationship. If the mind is flawed, then you have to choose someone who would teach the mind, correct the mind, rectify its flaws. That's where discretion comes in. Unless you have a relationship with the sage, who would tell you all this? Do you see this? That's the role of choosing rightly. Before you become choiceless, you have to endlessly keep making the right choice. You will not become choiceless all of a sudden, magically. Therefore, I emphasize upon right choice. Make the right choice, and if you make the right choice often enough, you will come to choicelessness.
Actually, as you said that the sage will tell, make the right choice. But before coming to sage, how can one make the right choice? Because then it's like already in the darkness.
Try.
So
When you do not know how good one thing is versus the other thing, what do? You try both of them without committing to either. Try everything. Don't just commit yourself suddenly. And that's the mistake we often do. Without knowing the thing fully, without knowing our relationship with the thing fully, without knowing the repercussions of the relationship, we rush into the bondage of blind commitment. Have patience and courage to keep hanging. Keep hanging till gradually a slow clarity emerges. You have to give yourself time, and you don't have to be in a hurry. And you need to have the integrity to reject a thing even after several years of trial, if those several years have revealed to you that the thing, or rather your relationship with the thing, is not worth it. What else is experimentation for? So that experimentation is very important. That experimentation is honesty. That experimentation is at the heart of all investigation. You do not investigate to embrace the first thing you come across, do you? You investigate to check and recheck and cross-check. To ask question after question. So that's what you do in front of the sage as well. That's why you have this special kind of process through which the Upanishads came into being. A process that involves discussion. The rishis never try to be overbearing or avuncular. They talk. They let the student listen, assess, question, and the student does that. The process is didactic.